Well, hello there, and welcome to this episode of the Terri Show. That I want to start with a question. Have you ever wondered if your relationship with your maternal impactor is somehow not right? That there's something off about that relationship? Or do you feel like no matter what you do, your mother is never satisfied with what you do in life? Or have you just ever wished that you had a better relationship with the maternal impactor in your life? If you're nodding your head yes, then this video is for you, my friend. In today's video, I'm breaking down the mother wound, but also how it can be such an invisible wound. It can be such an invisible scar that nobody can see it outwardly, but it can really negatively impact us in our lives and in our relationships. How you can identify whether you have a mother wound, and I'm giving you some ideas of what you can do to heal. So before we get into it, if you happen to be new to this YouTube channel, hi, say hello, introduce yourself in the comments below, because we are a friendly group. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the bell icon so that you get notified every time I roll out something new, which is every Tuesday and every Thursday. Because really, I make all of these videos for you, and I wouldn't want you to miss a thing. I'm so grateful for all of your questions and all of your comments. I read all of them, as you know, and I love to highlight them. So Birdie left a comment under, "Don't get sucked into conflict, 11 tips to handle difficult people." That was the video. And Birdie says, "Another great video, Terri. Thank you. With the help of your book and videos, I've really set and upheld my boundaries this year. It's been so hard to do as I'm a people pleaser and a highly sensitive person, but I finally realized that their issues and misery are not mine to be taken on, to fix, to change, etc. And I no longer care if they are pissed off at me for setting boundaries. They'll get over it." You know what, Birdie? You are correct. They will get over it. So let's move on into today's content. So, what are the symptoms of an unresolved mother wound? Let's talk a little bit about this. Now, this can range from unhealthy attachment style to low self-esteem to lack of self-worth to lack of self-confidence. All of those things can be rooted to a mother wound that might need your attention. It can also show up as an inability to trust yourself or anyone else, right? A deep sense of never feeling good enough. This is one of the hallmarks of having a mother wound, that no matter what you do, it's not enough or you're not good enough. Because when we think about a mother wound, what it is, it's basically having a maternal impactor. Could be a biological mother, could be an auntie, could be a foster mom, a grandma, whoever, the adult females in your life who raised you, who did not have the ability to give you what you needed as a kid. When you think about what it really is, they could not stay present for you. And there's lots of different ways that this can come out. But what it looks like, if you have a mother wound yourself, it can manifest as perfectionism in life, or having the imposter syndrome, but like all the time, always feeling like you're going to be found out, you're doing something wrong, someone's going to find out that you're a fraud. A lot of times it also can show up as you undermining your own success. So sort of getting in your own way. It's basically having this deep, dark fear in the way, unconscious or conscious or both, that you're unlovable. Basically, that you are unworthy of love, attention, affection, and that you will find that experience everywhere because it's a belief. So when you think about our unconscious minds, they're like the most astute executive assistant you could ever have. And if you've gotten the message, especially from a maternal caregiver, that you're not worthy of love, attention, affection, time, what ends up happening is we believe that, and then we keep repeating that pattern in other relationships in our life. It can also show up as having difficulty setting boundaries because there is so much fear of rejection, abandonment, fear of being left alone, which might mirror the way you felt in childhood, especially if you had a rejecting maternal figure. So what are the most common, let's just say, symptoms, how it will show up in your life? So we start with low self-esteem. right? Not feeling good enough about yourself. An inability to self-soothe. So again, this goes back to, was there lack of soothing in that relationship with the maternal impactor? Chronic overfunctioning. Because think about it, if you have a mother wound, there's a lack of trust in other people. So it's almost like the feeling of like, I have to do it or nobody's going to do it for me, basically. Also, feeling shame or guilt around your relationship with your maternal impactor, especially in our society where, simultaneously, and I've talked about this before, but it's so true, and it seems like it's impossible that it could be true at the same time, but we live in a society where there's all of this mother worship. So if you don't have a close relationship with your mother, or if you're cut off, you don't have a relationship at all with your maternal impactor, you'll hear things like, she's your only mother, you only get one. Like, there's so much mother worship. Simultaneously, there's also all of this diminishing how hard it is to actually be a mother. So you wouldn't think those things could coexist simultaneously, but they can and they do. If you don't have a good relationship with your mother, you may want to hide that. You may minimize it because you don't want other people to judge you. You may also do self-deprecating behaviors where you are sort of diminishing your own accomplishments because you don't want to threaten anybody. Because a lot of times if you had a maternal impactor who was threatened by you, you don't want to be, because again, it's this fear of rejection, fear of abandonment. It could show up as disordered eating, people-pleasing, kind of having the disease to please, an inability to trust yourself. So it's almost like if you feel like you're making a decision and you have to ask like 400 people their opinion because you don't trust your own ability to do the right thing. And we talked before a little about perfectionism, which is so exhausting. And again, it's almost being in that same scenario that many women in particular with mother wounds have, where no matter what you did, it isn't good enough. And think about how perfectionism is basically mirroring that experience, because when you're a perfectionist, nothing is ever good enough for you. You're always looking at the 2% that didn't go exactly as you had planned and find it very difficult to celebrate the 98% that went exactly as you had planned. Having bad boundaries is super common with a mother wound. Repeating these dysfunctional behavioral patterns from childhood, but also fueled again by fear of rejection. So it can be difficult to say no. And another thing, and this is one that people don't talk about that much with mother wounds, but feeling resentful of your own role as a mother if you have children, even though you love your children. But if you got kind of cheated in the department of maternal impactor and you're doing a great job with your kids or doing the best that you can with your kids, you may resent it because it's something that you actually didn't get in childhood. With a mother wound, this is something that can really be an invisible scar, because from the outside, a lot of people with mother wounds, there isn't obvious abuse, right? Meaning the outside world may not know what is going on. Your mother, even if she couldn't fulfill your needs as a child, she may have been able to show up and be a distinguished professor somewhere or be a doctor somewhere, right? Those things are not mutually exclusive. So again, there's an aloneness or an existential loneliness in having an experience that other people can't see. There's something, just think about it from a metaphoric perspective. When we have visible scars, it's like other people understand that we're in pain or that we went through something really painful. When you have invisible scars, it's like we're struggling, but other people don't understand why or don't know why. And again, a lot of people don't know how to talk about this if you haven't had therapy. And trust me, I'm going to give you some ideas. There are certainly things that you can do if you're identifying with what I'm talking about in this episode. You can, reparenting ourselves. This is something that I have to say most of us have to do, whether you would identify as having a mother or a father wound or not. That there is something about giving ourselves what we didn't get in childhood. And even if you had decent parents, all of them failed us in some way. Just if you're a parent, you have already failed your kids in some way, because we're just human beings doing the best that we can. So reparenting, which I'm going to get to, and I give you some of these ideas in the guide. Just go to terricole.com/guide to get some steps that you can take if this is something that is resonating with you. So one thing that can be hard to do, but I feel like it's very helpful, if you have a distraught relationship with your maternal impactor, or perhaps they've passed away and you didn't get a chance to sort of resolve anything with them, there is something that is really helpful, and I'll give you these journal prompts in the guide, where you look at the positive things, like what you learned or inherited from your maternal impactor, right? That has added value to your life. Because even when people are not great parents, usually there is something that we can find that we got from them. Our resiliency, I would say for my mother, I got my desire to serve, right? Regardless of the ways that my own mother failed me. I don't personally identify as having a mother wound in particular. But of course, because my mother's a human being, she failed me in plenty of ways, as I did my children. So there's something powerful about being able to identify something that you got that was positive. Like, what can you celebrate? What can you feel grateful for? Even if it was just modeled behavior. Maybe your maternal impactor had an amazing work ethic and that came through to you. Are there any positive memories of the mothering that you did receive from your maternal impactor, right? What were the strengths that your maternal impactor had? If you can find any, it's really helpful. She could have been a great cook, had a wicked sense of humor, maybe passed along a love of reading or music to you. So we're really gonna sort of mine the crap stew to find the gems and celebrate those things, because it can be very helpful for you. But moving into, what did you wish you had? Being honest about what you wished you had that you didn't. Like, what didn't you get from your mother? List the ways you wished you had been mothered and the ways you weren't, basically. Really write down your deepest longing of how you wished you had been nurtured and cared for. It's important to create this space, because we're going to be grieving what you didn't get, because you have every right to grieve that. And it's so important to honor those feelings, because so much of the time when we're raised, especially as women, we're just like, it happened so long ago, I don't want to make a big deal about it. It's other people had it worse, right? Think of all the ways that we just sort of make excuses not to honor the way that we really feel. And of course, other people will always have it worse, but that does not minimize what you did or didn't get from your mother in your life. And the pain that not getting it caused you is real, and it's valuable for you to honor it. Moving into, what else can you actually do for yourself? Learning how to self-soothe, because that's one of the things, if you have a mother wound, that can be very difficult, where you're more apt to want to keep going and not really you're thinking about other people and how to soothe them, but not thinking about yourself. So I give you a whole bunch of ideas in the guide, terricole.com/guide, of ways that you can self-soothe. You'll add your own, of course. Anything from a nice cup of herbal tea to taking a warm bath to freestyle writing in your journal. These are ways that we can take care of our own tender hearts. It's important that we do that and that we care about how we feel, especially if you did not have a mother that had the ability to soothe you. That really becoming good at soothing yourself is so incredibly important. And the last thing I want to talk about here, well, there's two more things, which is intentional self-parenting. It's almost like reparenting ourselves, treating our inner child like our beloved, because that's really what they need to be to us. It can be a sacred daily practice. When you ask the child at the core of who you are, what do you need today, honey? Right? Be sweet. Be loving. Be maternal, because that's what that is. What do you want, my love? Right? It's like actually saying those words to yourself and then doing those things. Satisfying that part of you that needs to be mothered. And it's amazing how impactful it can really be for you to self-mother, self-parent, and to treat yourself the way that you treat your beloved children, or that you would if you had a child. You would want their needs to be met. You would want to soothe their hurts. That is a natural way for many of us to mother children. So remember that you are that child who deserves that mothering. And even if your parental impactor did not have the ability to give that to you, that has nothing to do with your worthiness. You are so worthy of having your needs met, of being cared about, of being nourished, of being nurtured, right? Your parents' inability to do that well has nothing to do. You were born worthy simply by virtue of being alive. You are worthy of being loved and cherished. And if that didn't happen in your childhood, you can make it happen in your adulthood. Because so many of you have asked me about the mother wound, I created a course. So I also am telling you that we're going to be starting this course on August 16th. You can get the details at terricole.com/motherwound. And I'm teaching it live myself. It's the only time this year I'm doing it. And I didn't teach it at all. I've only taught it live once before. So I'm super excited to teach it live. So if this is something that's interesting to you, check out all the details at terricole.com/motherwound. Again, we're starting on August 16th. It's 5 modules, 6 weeks, and it's going to be amazing. So if it's interesting to you, if you feel like you have a mother wound, give yourself the gift of healing from it, and I would be honored to walk you through the process. And I've given you all the other stuff we talked about in the guide for this week's blog. So terricole.com/guide. And if you're interested in the mother wound, go to terricole.com/motherwound. I hope you guys have the most amazing week. And as always, take care of you.